We have this very interesting video of this international tourist going to San Francisco and pretty much just filming what she saw on the streets of San Francisco. It's pretty interesting. I'll be showing you guys this. It's by far one of the most interesting videos. And by the way, San Francisco basically signed its own death warrant because they are pretty much not carrying out businesses. Businesses are leaving. They kind of know that the city won't do anything. Guys, when you have big retail stores like Whole Foods, Nordstrom, those big boys, when they leave, they usually don't leave. Okay? I mean, the city has to be so bad to the point where it's unrecoverable for big stores like Whole Foods, Nordstrom, Uniqlo to leave. Those stores, when they leave, it's very expensive to come back. And they'll much rather just wait it out, wait the storm out. But when the storm is constantly in the area, they leave. And this really shows you Airbnb listings declined in San Francisco. So there's stories about how people during like 2019, 2018, even during like 2022, 2021, out of 30 nights, Airbnb hosts were doing like 25 or maxed out nights. Business was pretty sweet. Now you have some high-end properties in San Francisco, even with the price cuts. People are saying that they're only getting 3 out of 30 nights. That's how many times they're renting it out. It's so bad. Okay, people are not making money in San Francisco. Startups aren't coming in here. Airbnb listings are losing money. We're seeing the real estate collapse in San Francisco being very serious. And commercial real estate in San Francisco is dropping as much as 80% per skyscraper. That's better than any deal on Black Friday. Now check this out. This is pretty interesting because if you look at this video, it really does show you how empty the malls is. I think this is Westfield Mall, and they will be announcing official closing very soon. And Westfield Mall has a vacancy rate of 50%, which Westfield themselves actually said is actually not true for their other buildings. In fact, outside of San Francisco, Westfield is actually booming. They actually are proud to say that in their malls and other places and their retail centers, it's only a 5 to 7% vacancy. But in San Francisco, it's like 50% vacancies. Look at how empty this mall is. Guys, you would not believe that this is actually like America's tech capital. Okay, America's tech capital should not look like this. It should not be this empty. Go on the street, okay? All you see, is a lot of tents, a lot of homeless people on the streets. And this is Market Street. This is okay. This is kind of like where like hedge funds are. But walk a little bit outside of this area. You're going to be seeing a lot of tents and a lot of homelessness. And what's really scary is, even the tourist traps are actually experiencing some of the, highest homeless rates ever. If you go a little up to like Fisherman's Wharf, there's even some tents over there. I mean, it's crazy, okay? Just homeless people everywhere. All of the stores are closing. It's completely empty. It's by far one of the worst things to see in San Francisco. Now, this woman is actually showing the good parts of San Francisco, and even the good parts of San Francisco are actually experiencing a massive decline in things like stores, tourists, and people. And there's even iconic cafes of 70 plus years in business in San Francisco finally shutting down doors because 1, there's no tourism. 2, the afternoon crowd is virtually gone. And if you look around, homeless people apparently now can't remain on the streets. These are the court rules. This is insane. San Diego didn't even do that. What San Diego did was they said tent encampments on the streets of downtown is illegal. And that's exactly right. Okay, you can't save a city if you have tents everywhere. Okay, that kills the tourism and that kills off businesses. And the city goes broke and the city can't help the homeless people. Okay, San Diego is actually trying to save its city. They don't even want to have these tents on the ground. They know that they need these businesses so they could tax them and make money. And now homeless people can now remain on the streets of San Francisco. San Francisco is dirty. Okay, there's almost 10,000 homeless individuals in San Francisco while the population declines. And I mean, check this out. Okay, this is constant. This is nonstop. Okay, even these very, very highly well thought out locations are empty. These are prime retail stores going empty. This is not a bad part of town. This is kind of like where you see your Macy's, your Louis Vuitton stores. This is kind of like where at least there's some police presence. And even this area is going empty. Look at how empty this mall is. This is depressing. This is going to be the site of a dying city. This city is never going to recover if they never change. In fact, if they don't change for the next couple years and they do like crazy stuff like this, every startup is leaving. This city is going to be the next Detroit, and San Francisco only have themselves to blame. The city has a great location, a fantastic startup scene. Drive a little bit south, and you get Stanford and some of the best universities in the world. A lot of companies in the world. Very, very great. And now San Francisco is terrible. And if you check this out, San Francisco is rolling out their vacant to vibrant program for pop-up businesses and empty downtown spaces. There's so many empty downtown spaces that you could actually just pick a pop-up location and open shop. But will people do this is a whole nother reason. Apparently this pop-up situation isn't as popular as people thought it was. And hey, seriously, San Francisco just needs to clean up the crime, the homelessness, and drugs. I mean, for decades, the Tenderloin district is never fixed. For some reason, with this whole California situation, they could never find a good direction. What they really need to do is get the businesses back by cleaning up the streets. But of course, they're probably never going to do it, and this is why so many businesses are leaving, right? And like I said before, it's a shame because San Francisco is my favorite city in the U.S. The location's great. I went there pre-pandemic, and yeah, I had a lot of problems, but it's nowhere as bad as now. And guess what? Red Hat moves Tech Summit out of struggling San Francisco. Now, if you check this out, Red Hat is actually a software company owned by IBM. They actually have this annual massive technology summit, and they're done. Okay, their annual technology summit for San Francisco 2024 and 2025 is over. Now, we don't exactly know what's the next location, but it's probably going to be somewhere not in California. Like, San Francisco, such an amazing place. Great skyline, fantastic weather. You know, even though one bedrooms cost $1 million back then, people were still willing to pay for that because of how great the city was, okay? The startup scene was so good. The tech scene was fantastic. Now the tech scene is terrible. Tech scene is moving to Nevada, Florida, and Austin. These places. And when you have tech summits leaving, that just shows you how bad the city is getting. Okay, so at first you have little retail stores leaving, then you got the big box stores, and then you have startups and tech companies leaving. And now you have iconic technology summits leaving. Okay, these are the things that make San Francisco great. The tech scene is why people are willing to put up with San Francisco's crap for several decades. But not anymore. With online work, people are done with the city. And what people are saying is they'll move back if they fix some of these problems. And I don't really think the city seems to really care that much. I'm not even sure what in the world is going on. How can they run a city to the ground like this? But like I said before, I hope San Francisco the best, and I really hope they fix it up. And I would love to see companies moving back, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Chances of that is slim to none. And like I said before, a lot of these vloggers are actually very, very shocked about how bad San Francisco is and how many homeless individuals there are. I mean, it's pretty embarrassing too. I mean, when you have, tourists from Asia, tourists from Europe and Latin America, they come here and they see this stuff, they go back home and they say just bad things about San Francisco. And even our fellow Americans, they go to San Francisco and they say that it's lawless. It's very, very scary. And they're never going back. It's a shame. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later. Subscribe and like.